Hello there guys and welcome back to Blues Fans TV for another live review of mine after finally another win by Chelsea. As we finally got back to winning ways after the defeat at Man City, the kind of disappointing draw at Valencia and the very disappointing defeat to West Ham on the weekend. We did manage to beat Aston Villa tonight with a 2-1 win and I'm happy. I'm happy today. First off, I wasn't happy. It wasn't a good performance. It was a lot of the same problems that we had and showed against West Ham. But second half was very good. Second half was very good and I was very pleased, in all honesty. I was very pleased with that, and to be honest, it should never have been as close as it was. Like, we deserved to win by many more goals, and it just wasn't to be. Heaton put off a couple of good saves. Sometimes we got unlucky, but overall, I'm very, very pleased today. Really can't fault anyone. Well, I can fault a couple of people for what happened in the first half, but I can't fault anyone for what happened in the second half. I was very, very pleased. Of course, if you are new to Blues Fans TV, please be sure to subscribe. That'd be massively appreciated. And also, drop a like if you're watching this live right now, and drop a like if you're watching this as a video later on. But let's just get into the game, starting it off, of course, with the lineup. And to some extent, I was pretty happy with that. To some extent, I was not so happy with that, I guess. In the end, it worked out all right. Of course, we won, but yeah, let's just talk through it. Of course, Kepa was in goal. Christensen came back into the side again, like he did against Valencia. And like he did against Valencia, it was next to Kurt Zouma, with Kurt Zouma being pushed out of his more natural position, out of the position that he's used to, playing at right centre-back. He played at left centre-back again, with Christensen at right centre-back, and I'm just not a big fan of that. First of all, I don't rate the fact that Christensen seemingly only wants to play there, or can play there, unless it's down to Lampard, and Christensen would be just fine on the left. Not a big fan of that, because I don't think it works that well for us. I think Zouma is a bit worse, and I don't think Christensen improves us, quite frankly. I don't think Christensen improves us, and if my light could stop flickering, that'd also be very much appreciated. But at the fullbacks, we had Reece James starting again at right back, his third start in a row, which is good, which is very good. And at left back, it was Azpilicueta again. So Azpilicueta was against Valencia, Emerson against West Ham, and now back to Azpilicueta. Interesting. Azpi had a good game, actually. I was pretty happy with Azpi. Reece James had a great game going forward, but has to do a lot better for the goal we conceded. Pretty similar to the first goal we conceded in Valencia as well. He needs to work on that a lot. And if that light doesn't stop flickering now, honestly, I'm going to flip my bloody shit. But then coming to midfield, there was a 4-2-3-1 formation. And in the double pivot today was N'Golo Kante and Mateo Kovacic. Pretty much exactly like I suggested in my preview yesterday. It is time for Jorginho to get a rest, bar the game that he was suspended for against Crystal Palace. He hasn't missed a single game all season. Even for Italy, he's played every single game and pretty much every single minute for them as well, I think. So that is understandable. And it worked out okay. Kante still has a couple of the problems that I haven't liked with him since coming back. But especially second half, he also improved quite a lot, I thought. Mason Mount was, of course, the number 10, with the two wingers being Christian Pulisic and Willian. Hudson-Odoi didn't get a start, although I thought Pulisic might have done with the rest. But he was, again, very good today. So who am I to talk? And thank God Tammy Abraham was fit and did manage to start the game, because what a difference it was. I put it in the title and it is on the thumbnail as well. He was the difference today. Like, he was the difference maker. Like, if we have Tammy Abraham against West Ham, there is a good chance we win that game. Not, of course, the second half today, everyone was much better than we were against West Ham. But the first half especially, we were just as poor, really, as we were against West Ham. But we scored a goal. And, you know, that is just the difference. As I put it on Twitter, you know, that's the difference when you start a proper striker. Because what Giroud did on Saturday wasn't the proper striker's performance in the slightest, like at all. But let's talk through the game. Like I said, the first half wasn't particularly incredible. Like, we started off okay, I guess, but we didn't really do much. Like, kind of the first chance we had, in all honesty, we scored from. You know, Tammy Abraham did score from it. And it was good. It was pretty good. Reece James with a lovely cross from the right. Tammy Abraham with a good cross, well, just pretty much in front of goal. Puts it in past the keeper, and I was pleased. You know, Tammy didn't celebrate, of course, against Aston Villa, where he wasn't known last season. He helped them, you know, be promoted to the Premier League. John Terry was back as well. Lovely displays by the Matthew Harding and the shed end as well. And then, you know, before the game and after the game, John Terry embracing, you know, fans, players, you know, former colleagues, whoever, friends. And it was nice to see. It was nice to see, but even nicer because we got the win. Because had we drawn today, or let alone lost, you know, I would not really have cared that much about that, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. And then just before the break, we actually managed to concede again, you know, through Trezeguet. Not sure whether he has a first name, but Trezeguet anyway. And it was a silly goal. It was a silly goal. We let the guy cross from the right again. It doesn't really matter who plays at left back. We let people cross a bit too easily. Christensen was then kind of over-muscled by Wesley. Yes, Wesley's a huge guy. He's a really, really strong guy. But Christensen could kind of just clear that cross. You know, I know Wesley shoves him and, you know, people could even debate, is that a foul? But he didn't. You know, Wesley kind of shoved him out the way. The ball flies past both Wesley and Christensen. And then Reece James is just nowhere near enough nowhere near close enough to Trezeguet, nowhere near. And then the guy scores a kind of a funny hat-trick. Ball falls onto his head, onto his left foot, and then just bobbles over the line from his right foot. Nothing Kepa can do about it, but Reece James needs to be much closer, like much closer, and Christensen needs to do better as well. So Reece needs to work on his defensive positioning, needs to work on his defensive awareness for crosses, but going forward, got an assist again, you know, a lot of good crosses, just generally. Honestly, I'm going to slap this light. Honestly, guys, I'm going to slap it. I'm going fuming. What on earth is he doing? Like, usually it's fine. Why is it not? Bloody hell, pissing me off. Anyways, and then we go into the break. Like, we didn't really have much more than I can think of right now in the first half. But I was like, we should do better with that. We had a couple of moments, and we had a couple of good players in the first half as well. Like, Pulisic did pretty all right. Willian had his good moments. Tammy, of course, you know, there was a couple where, you know, we had a ball crossed into the box. You know, a couple were blocked, you know, shots in the end, or a couple of crosses that almost came to Tammy were intercepted in the end, or a poor header clearance, I guess, by Tyrone Mings when the ball was still flying around in the box. Tammy tried to go for the volley, misses the ball completely. Didn't really work out for us. But second half, we started, you know, we came out of the box much quicker, much brighter, more movement, much quicker passing, and I was just overall way happier with everything that we did in the second half, really. And it only took us 3 minutes in the second half to make it 2-1. Really, like, you know, you can't really ask for much more. Of course, that helped the rest of the second half performance. But we did get that 2-1 pretty much straight after the break. And that was Mason Mount. That was a goal that he really wanted, a goal that he really needed. 7 games without a goal in the Premier League. Generally a good performance by him today, I thought. But what I want to put more praise to, actually, as great as Mount's volley goal was, is Tammy Abraham's assist. Like, that was unbelievable. It was a great cross by Willian from the right. And Tammy, he knew Mason was right next to him, and he chests it. And he didn't try to chest it to himself. He always meant to chest that on for Mason Mount. That was a perfectly weighted, you know, chest touch. Gets out of the way immediately and lets Mount, you know, hit the ball on the volley, and he just smashes it into the roof of the net. I couldn't really have asked for much more. And after that, you know, Willian had a couple of had a shot saved by Tom Heaton. Tom is his first name, I think. Yeah, had a shot saved by Tom Heaton. Pulisic had a couple that he did really well with, and Heaton just about got there in the end. And then that free kick by Willian that Heaton saved, like, that is up there with the saves of the season so far. Definitely, I would argue so far with the save of the season that I've seen. Like, that was a beautiful free kick, and Tom Heaton just about got there and fingertips it onto the post. Didn't even fingertip it wide. He fingertipped it onto the post, onto the cross, whatever, the crossbar, like kind of the edge, and it bounced back into play, but no one was there to pick up on it. And you know, that was really it. I mean, there was one moment when they almost made it 2-0 through Douglas Luiz, I think his name is, when Kepa made a great save. I would like to tell you how that save went, but, you know, the streamer was watching on cutout, and just as I finally got it up to reload, they just finished the replay of that save. So I can't actually tell you how that save went, but Twitter told me they almost scored and it was a great save by Kepa. So go on you, Kepa, you know, proving critics wrong. There was again people on Twitter saying he should have done better for the first goal because, you know, what on earth can he do about that? I mean, if you want to talk about blaming people, talk about Christensen. Aspie didn't do anything about the cross. And Reece James, don't talk about bloody Kepa. I mean, I know he's not commanding the box, but it's never going to happen with him. Well, maybe it will when he's older and more experienced, but he's a short and somewhat timid goalkeeper. It's just not going to happen with him. But generally, I was just pleased with the second half. In the second half, I thought pretty much everyone was good. You know, from Reece James to Aspie. Aspie did a lot on that left-hand side. Fair play to him. Always, you know, a lot of the time cuts onto his right when he tries to cross or whatever. And bar one, his left foot crosses aren't particularly good. But Zuma had a lot of good tackles. My light is still pissing me off. Christensen, you know, had a few good moments as well. Generally, still don't think he's better than Tomori. And, like, even if we say for rotational purposes, maybe Tomori is tired or whatever, why would Tomori be tired? Barely played for England when he was with them in the international break a couple of weeks ago. And then he already got the rest against Valencia, and I don't think he's performing that much worse than Zuma is. So I don't understand, if we're doing it for rotation, why isn't sometimes Christensen coming in for Tomori? I don't get it. Honestly, I'm a bit baffled by that. But I do hope that Rudiger comes back soon, because we really do need to, you know, start getting clean sheets here. Because if we can't kill off games, which has been a problem for us for seasons on end now, really, you know, really need to be a bit more solid defensively. And they almost got that 2-0 in this game as well, and we can't afford that. Like, when we're 1 goal up in a game, I don't trust that result. Like, I don't trust us to see that game out. It just is that way. But generally, the second half was good. Obviously, he spoke about the defenders. Kante still doesn't get his tackles as right as he usually does. I don't know whether that's still him coming back from injuries, him still finding full fitness and everything. But his timing for the tackling is just not right. And sometimes he's a bit too slow in his passing as well. But generally, I liked the double pivot of Kante and Kovacic today. Kovacic with a good performance. Still sometimes a bit confused when Kante and Kovacic is the pivot. Why is Kante the one pushing way further up the pitch when Kovacic is just a way more creative player? Never really too sure about it because I think that would, in my head, give Kovacic a bit more. But I was overall happy with it. And Mount was good today. I mean, there was plenty of people again after the first half that said, oh, they can't wait for Ruben to be back because Mount just doesn't offer these things. And yes, on some cases this is true, but he had a lot of good touches today, worked really, really hard today, scored a great goal, and had a lot of good moments in the game today. Had a lot of good moments. I think Mason Mount deserves some credit today. Very happy with him. Willian was unbelievable today, really. Like, his work rate defensively was unbelievable, and offensively as well. Had a couple of good shots. Obviously, well, even from open play, I think he had one or two shots that heated it well to save. The free kick that the goal he saved as well. Had the pre-assist to our second goal and had a couple of other good crosses that maybe got slightly, deflections. And, sometimes we just about didn't get on the end of them. And Willian, very, very, very good performance today. I was very happy with him. Even assisted one chance for Tammy Abraham in the second half when he could have made it 3-1, when he just about kind of half shot it past the far post. But yeah, Willian, very good. And Pulisic as well. Sometimes a bit in and out of the game. Had a couple of minutes in both halves where he was not really seen all so much. But generally, he was very good. His dribbling is unbelievable. Like, the way he kind of steps past people and just how quickly he gets past everyone and how direct he is to try and get towards goal. Whether he then in the end tries to lay it off or square it or cross it or shoot, doesn't make a difference. I'm very, very happy with Pulisic. And at the moment, it's a real struggle for Callum Hudson-Odoi to get in that team. Willian playing really well, although not really well generally in the last couple of games, but today, Pulisic generally playing really well. And there's a struggle for Hudson-Odoi to get in their side. Of course, he will with rotation, but, when he does get his chance, he really needs to perform if he wants to, take one of the starting spots from either of those two. Especially with the reports that we are looking to sign Jadon Sancho, whether that is in January or next summer. Whether those are true or not, we'll have to wait and see, but we'll try, apparently. So, if that happens as well, Hudson-Odoi will struggle even more to get in that team, which will be interesting. And Tammy, what a difference it is to have him up front compared to Olivier Giroud. And I don't want to just bash Olivier Giroud again, because there's always a massive difference having Tammy Abraham in there instead of Michy Batshuayi. Tammy's work rate is unbelievable. He's a mix of quick and tall, has a good touch, has good technique. Sometimes overdoes it, tries to be a bit too fancy with it, and is a bit too lanky to do that. And sometimes I still think the Premier League defenders are a little bit too quick for what he tries to do. So sometimes he tries a fancy touch, a fancy step over or whatever, and the centre back or just generally the defender manages to get the ball of him. He still maybe needs to learn that, but he's 22. Mount is 20 or 19 or whatever they are. Really, really young. Reece James as well. I know I criticised him for making a mistake for the first goal, similar to the goal against Valencia, and also could have done a bit better for the goal West Ham scored. But he's 19 and he brings us so much going forward and generally in our play, that it's just impressive to see these guys pull off these things. Like both of our goals today were scored and assisted by Chelsea Academy graduates, by Cobham graduates, and it's just very, very good to see. But most importantly, we did get another win today, which I was very pleased about. Of course, on to Everton on the weekend, which will be another rather tough game, although I think we can get the win there as well. And then obviously it's to the huge game against Lille in the Champions League. Next midweek. But yeah, I'm basically done talking about the game as I do. So let me get to some of the chat. What you guys have said in the chat. I would just like to see what you guys have to say. And also, if you want me to talk about anything specific, ask a question or whatever. If you want to donate in the live chat, please do that. In the super chat. More than happy to do so. But yeah, while I'm waiting in for your questions to come in, if you haven't already, like I said in the beginning already, please be sure to subscribe to Blues Fans TV and also drop a like on this live stream. That would be massively appreciated, especially if you made it this far. Just go down below, drop a like, that'd be cool. And if you're watching this as a video, later on when this turns into a video as well, also drop a like, that'd be cool. But yes, I agree. Someone said, Laurenz, you're a legend. I agree. What do you think of Aspi at left back? It's strange. Against Valencia, I really didn't like it. Today was okay in the first half. I liked it in the second half. It's on and off. It's not his preferred side. I know he did it on Mourinho. People don't need to tell me that. But it's a very different style of football. Back then we were defensive. The left back just stayed back. As we barely attacked under Mourinho playing left back. We just had the right side attack. That's not what we do now. Both our fullbacks attack now. Hence why it is sometimes a bit of a problem. But it just shows the left back problem we have. Emerson is not on form right now. It just is as simple as that. As great as he was in the early beginning, just the beginning of the season, I guess, the early few games, until he picked up that hamstring problem that he had, it was great. But when he's not on form, it's a bit of a problem because Alonso is just an absolute waste of time. And it's a problem for us now, hence why the reports do say the Ben Chilwell is one of our top priorities for whenever we do, whenever we are allowed again to sign players, whether that's then in January, to which we will find, to which we'll get the result, I guess, in the next couple of days, whenever that will then end up happening, or next summer. So that will be interesting. No more place for Mishi. Poor performance. He only played for like 9 minutes. Relax. The first half wasn't that great. The second half was better, but we are not taking the chances. I agree. We really need to start killing games off. But then at the same time, that save by Tommy Eaton to stop Willian's free kick, that is a freak save. If Willian scores that, we cruise the game to the end, 3-1, maybe even get a third, maybe even get a fourth, sorry. And it's easy. Sometimes we get a bit unlucky, with the ball that was bouncing around after Pulisic had a shot and Heaton saved, and it was bouncing around just before Tammy, but he couldn't get his foot on it. Sometimes you get unlucky, sometimes you get lucky. It didn't happen for us that way, but it's okay. Is Jorginho being asked to cover too much distance? I saw him get near the box quite a few times against West Ham. Interesting question. I'm not sure whether it's him covering too much distance. I think sometimes I would like to see he needs a bit more protection, and people say, oh, that's why he's not that good. But the simple fact is that he's not the quickest. But he gives us so much in our controlled build-up play, which we lacked a lot today, in the first half especially. Also in the second half. But in the second half, we were so dominant that once we get into the final third and we pressurize our opponent there, then it's not that important whether Jorginho is there or not. But when we can't get to that stage, then Jorginho is crucially important because he controls the players around him, he controls the movement and helps us get into the pressurizing position, and also manages to find people in the half spaces, which neither Kante nor Kovacic do all that much, because Kovacic likes to take the ball and run into that half space himself and then lay it off, while Jorginho tries to find that with a pass. But he's not that quick, so sometimes he needs a bit more protection, and Kante was a bit too far forward again against West Ham in my personal preference, and that's not necessarily criticism of Kante, that's just, to me, them still needing to find out how to play together perfectly in a two when they do play as a two, and also Lampard maybe still trying to figure out how he wants his midfield exactly to play, now that all of those three, I guess, and four including Mason Mount, are fit, because, mind you, Kante missed a lot of the season today, and when he did play, it was against big teams like Liverpool, which is not the same as playing at West Ham, so things are different. I think it's too easy to say, Jorginho is asked to cover too much distance. I think there's more problems to it, but I'm pretty sure that Jorginho will come back into the side against Everton, and we'll see what happens then. Why is Hudson-Odoi in the first team? He was poor against... What do you mean, why is he in the first team? Do you want to put him in under 21s? You meant to. We already only have four. We already have four wingers as it is. How do you feel about Reece's stay on Grealish? Fouled him a couple too many times, a couple of silly fouls. Generally did quite well, though. Made Grealish work hard defensively as well, which is good. So, again, Reece James is 19. He's only really started to play regularly now. Last 3 games were his second, third and fourth start for Chelsea. The other game was away at Lille. So, you have to give the kid a little bit of time and a little bit of slack as well. Can't be top 6 teams. We will. Don't worry about it. So much... bad decision making. Almost put us under pressure. Too greedy. Holds the ball too long. Not impressed. Agree, but at the same time, when you come on and when you see Pulisic playing well, Willian playing well, and then you come on as a sub, it's understandable that he's a bit selfish, he is a bit greedy, and he holds the ball a bit for too long because he wants a bit of glory himself. Mason Mount is overrated. He was whatever you're saying. Jack Grealish is a bastard. I don't think he was overrated today. I think it was very good today. But yeah, let me do one more comment from you guys, and then I'm going to leave it there because, I'm just pleased today. I love Kante. He's our best player, but if he's poor, I say it like it is. I assume you're replying to someone. I agree. I completely agree with you. He was playing good tonight, though. Fair enough. Well, Mason Mount is, again, another one that's, 20 years old? Give the guy a bit of time, how many 20-year-olds perform every week? Very, 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 very few. So, give the bit... give the kid a bit of time. The stream volume is low. Turn your device up. That would help, I think. Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to do one more comment that I'm going to go... going to go up by a little bit. The volume is so low. Why is it so low? It doesn't make any sense. Pretty sure it isn't that low. Maybe I just spoke a bit too quietly today. We're linked with Isco, Chilwell, Sancho, Dembele. That's the players we need. Depends on which Dembele that is. If that's the Lyon strike, I'm not too sure about that. And Isco isn't going to happen, and I hope doesn't happen because we have Ruben and we have Mount. Don't want any of Isco, to be honest. I mean, he's a great player, and of course he would, improve us. But I want Ruben and Mount to play. Like, I'm sorry, it might sound silly and some people are, you're off your head. Yeah, but yeah, anyway. Also, I'm not sure how well Isco will do in the Premier League. David Luiz is my favourite player. Congratulations. They literally only take Grealish. Don't know what you're on about. And we need to sack Frank Lampard. And on that note, I think I'm just going to leave it there because that silly comment like that just makes my brain hurt. But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I really do appreciate all of you guys that did tune in. Like I said in the beginning, please be sure to subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't already. Drop a like on this live stream if you enjoyed it. Drop a like on this video if you're watching this later on. And yeah, other than that, don't really have much else to say. A good win for the Chelsea. Let's hope we can get another win on Saturday against Everton. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea. And I'll see you when I see you. Why is that not happening then? Thank you.
You know who's